Hi, my name is Endrulat, and I just wanted to go over updates to my Gollemer project. A few things. I updated the LLM, and it... Hi, how are you doing today?
Hello. How will that help you?
So I added the speech to text, which uses a model I didn't make called Whisper. Um, I was having it train on raw sound files, but it was getting kind of complicated, so I switched it. And another thing I did was, and as you can tell, it also it reads off the screen your terminal prompt. So you can kind of have sort of a conversation back and forth. It does do a 4-second delay though, because I don't want it to pick up on its own voice when it waits to say the things it says. And then I also added the ability for you to train it on pies, but then also I have two pies, and currently they're both running it, but I'll kill it and then rerun it to kind of give an example. So this would be the master pie or main pie. As soon as the terminal loads, um, kill it. This would be the command, and basically you can see the limit. It limits the RAM because I'm running on Pi 3B, which is kind of over 10 years old. Only has about a gig of RAM. This command also uses no hop, and that's to keep it running and then write to a log file. This is the actual command, or the binary, and then the command and the flags. This flag says that it's master and the IP address, and then write to the log. But before, well, let me run that, and then let me go to the other Pi. And this would be, I guess you'd call it the worker Pi. And this command is basically the same, except that it says the node is a worker, and it ties it to the master IP address, and the no hub, basically different log file. I just named the log file some different so that I know which one to kind of open up and look into. As you can tell, it's training, and basically the worker one doesn't actually write the model file. The master one does, though. And the worker one sends a shards of the training data to the master one that does write the model. Um, let's see. There should be sticking together. should say that it's successfully created a cluster. Should be doing it. Let me see. That one's definitely running. Did I ever run another one? Connected to master. There we go. Um, so then it should be, if we go back to master, yeah, now it's training. And a cluster established. Worker 101 successfully joined cluster. So it's training together. It is training on the same data, which I got to change that. But basically they're both training. One doesn't create a model file. This one does create it, but it gets a shard from the worker, and then they combine training and they go at it. Um, so you can run different training commands for the voice if you wanted. I put all the commands here. This would be to train the audio all together. This is a training command so that as you speak, it transcribes it and then teaches it. Needs to be kind of worked out a little bit more. There's more of a manual thing to train it. I did kind of start to step into the visual, but the problem that I was having was the container inside the Chromebook, even though it's USB, it can't get to that device. I guess in Chromebooks that's a problem. So I have a camera on the way for a Pi, and so I was gonna start to work on that as well to hopefully get a Pi training on video and audio and the natural language processing. All on over a decade old Pis working together. So yeah, and I also cleaned up some of the files a little bit, not a lot of it. Um, I cleaned up the chat one a little bit more. As you can tell, there's a little bit more files though. It goes up to only 5,500, which is still a lot, but it was over like 7,000, almost 8,000. So I'm working on trying to get that to be a little more readable and just more explanation, I guess. The problem is it's a big model and it does a lot, and there's just like lots of bits and pieces that it does, and um, neural networks, they're not, if they are simple, then they don't have much of a use case. If you actually having them do stuff, it gets really big and complicated. I also updated the LLM folder as well a bit, as you can kind of tell. Um, there's still certain files that are a little bit big, but You know, it does do a lot. It watches for a lot. Anyways, if you have any questions, please let me know. All right. Thank you.